Hello everyone, and today I will show you how to make this style of animation. I'm not going to go from scratch, but I will walk through all the nodes and show how I did it. So the first part is getting this rig going. It's not too difficult to get this. I'm going to put a link in the description for this video of a tutorial on how to use the kin effects to make a really basic IK, and how to transfer that some animation data from a mixamo to your rig. That is what I did to get to this point, and so I applied the animation, which is this. If I click on this FBX import, this is an animation I got from Mixamo, and it's just of this person walking. And then for the mesh that I used, I actually just took the Paul's test geometry mesh, and I captured the data, did all the rigging stuff and retargeting animation. And so that's how you get to this step. Once again, yeah, I'll put the tutorials in the description on how to do these two sections. And so after I got that, the next important bit is actually kind of interesting. So I'm doing two things up here. Instead of using the UVs, that the default geometry I had, I just put on an auto UV and just played around with the parameters. It kind of doesn't matter. You can just play around because it doesn't matter. You're not going to actually be using textures for this. So then I use extract borders. And so what extract borders is doing is when you have both these checked, it's going to output a curve, and it gives a almost cartoon sketch outline, which I found very useful. And so next, I just did an attribute delete and just deleted everything because I didn't need them. And then I used a point velocity, and I just pretty much kept it default. I don't actually think I'm using either of these. I might be, I'm not sure. I guess just check them in case. All right, so the next part that I did is a very tiny thing of Vex. And so I made a, I grabbed the position, and I add the position. So I'm adding to the position, and I'm basically just getting the velocity of this animation and multiplying the position, or adding to the position based on the velocity. So it kind of gives a little bit of adds a little bit more movement. So if I increase this a lot, it does something real wild, and it really exaggerates the animation. It looks a bit ridiculous. So I'm just going to dial that back down to 0.2. It's super subtle. Honestly, you could probably get rid of it and you won't really notice, but I just kept it in there just for good measure. Might as well. The next thing I did is point jitters. So this is actually really where a huge portion of the cartoony look comes in. So I put a super small scale. So if you zoom in, it's really small. If you bypass it, you can see. And so that kind of gives a cartoony sketched line effect. And I'm reseeding it every single frame. So $F basically just means each frame it's going to be a new seed, and it kind of jitters. If we move up close, you can kind of see it. It'll jitter at each frame to a different noise pattern, and yeah, that gives a more like hand-drawn frame by frame animation look. The next thing I did is added a color. And so this part is a bit weird what I'm doing. So I'm adding random colors. This is just for visualization. It's a lot easier. And this is actually how I got this, these weird lines down here, that are attached to him. I just thought it looked kind of cool and was more of a stylistic choice. You definitely don't need these, but I just, accidentally made them and then kept them in because it looked cool. And so what I'm doing here is I am creating a group based on the velocity and the color. So it's pretty much, it's randomly adding points to a group called group delete, and then I'm just deleting everything that isn't in there. So these will disappear when the velocity is really low, since I'm accounting for velocity in the threshold. And that just felt like a good idea for it. Then I'm cleaning the geometry just to fix various things. And then I'm using I'm using time shift and then time shifting it by the time plus a very small increment. And then I just add different colors to each one, which I'll use later on in the shader that I made in Redshift. That's all I used it for. And then I just merged it back together. It's a little bit hard to see on this background, but pretty much the most offset one is lighter, so it kind of gives a faded illusion when it's on a white background. Then I just merge it all back together, and then we get this right here. So yeah, that's all I did. And then you get this sketchy looking wireframe-like mesh. And for Redshift, super, super simple what I'm doing. All I'm doing is on the mesh character, I am turning on strands and then saying render objects as strands. I'm just using cylinders. You can use any of these. Ones with a constant width usually works better. So cylinders, boxes, strips, capsules. Cone doesn't, you could do it, kind of looks weird. Maybe you could get a cool style from it, but that's just what I did. I ignored the P scale attribute because I just wanted to manually set it inside of here, which I found to work better. And then I just played around with it until it gave a good scale when I actually render. Then I added a light dome. The light dome's not really doing anything, to be honest. There's not really reason to have it, because of what I'm doing with this sphere. I see it says it's grid. It's not a grid. It's actually just a sphere. And if you go into the materials, the only other bits are this. So this is the material I made for this line drawing kind of guy. And then I'm pretty much just plugging that into an incandescent shader, and then just outputting that. So all this is doing is taking the color attribute from this, which I showed you earlier in the right here with these color assignments. That's what I used them for in the shader. And it's pretty much just gonna end up color matching these point colors into the shader. And so with the incandescent, it's just like a constant shader. It doesn't have any lighting information, as in it doesn't receive, it's not like diffuse or specular or anything like that. It's just a constant color. And then that's all I did for that bit. Yeah, so you can have the background just completely white or do whatever you want with it, really. And when I do that, you'll end up with this kind of look and the animation that I showed in the very beginning, which I will show again right now. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I did to make this. Hope you found this tutorial useful. It's pretty quick, and if you have any questions or whatever, leave a comment below. And if you like the video, then like it. If you dislike it, then dislike it. And please subscribe. to see more videos. So yeah, thank you.